This morning, I woke up a bit earlier than usual. The house was still quiet. Morning light slipped gently through the window, casting soft patterns on the floor. I sat down with a warm cup in my hands and, unrushed, let my thoughts wander. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about time, about how it moves and how we move within it. Not as something to fight against, but as a river inviting us to swim with more awareness. I don't just want to live a long life. I want to be fully alive in every single year of it. The idea of living to 120 stopped sounding far-fetched or odd to me a while ago. It's become a symbol, a way to commit to a life that's not just long but light, clear, and full of heart. Taking care of myself has become a daily act of love. Not out of fear of aging, but out of respect for life itself. I want to be able to look back decades from now and feel that I honored my body, my mind, and the path I walked. That's what I want to talk to you about now. To share some discoveries, habits, and tiny choices that, when strung together with care, might just help us go farther with more peace in our hearts. What does it mean to live to 120? Jean Comment lived to be 122 years and 164 days old. Her story made headlines around the world as a milestone in human longevity. But for me, the number isn't the most powerful part, it's the possibility. Living to 120 isn't about breaking records or defying time. It's about intention. It's about choosing every single day to build a life worth living. One filled with presence, joy, and care. I see that symbolic age as a kind of lighthouse. It doesn't demand urgency or perfection, but it does invite us to look deeper into the now. To treat our bodies with gentleness. To nurture our minds with kindness. To live with more lightness, purpose, and connection. To live to 120, to me, means honoring every cycle, every season, without losing our sense of wonder. It means creating a lifestyle that embraces health not rigidly, but with warmth. Eating with intention, moving with joy, taking a deep breath before reacting, sleeping with a quiet soul. And it's not just personal, it's collective. Because when we choose to live well, we inspire others to do the same. When we prioritize well-being, we extend care not just to ourselves, but to everyone around us. This journey isn't about stretching out time at any cost. It's about filling each moment with meaning. And if, as a result, we reach 90, 100, even 120, may it be with wholeness, presence, and love. Biological limits and genetics. For a long time, people believed that living longer, much longer, was mostly about luck in the genetic lottery, that some were simply born with it, while others were locked into an unchangeable fate. But science tells a different story. Recent studies suggest that only 20 to 30% of our longevity is determined by genetics. The rest, over 70%, comes down to things we can actually influence. Our habits, our environment, our lifestyle. That changes everything. Demographic and genetic models suggest the natural limit of human life is somewhere around 120 to 130 years. It's not a magic number or a promise, but it is a biological possibility. And if it's possible, why not dream of reaching it with health and autonomy? So the question shifts from can I, to how can I take care of myself to live my best life along the way? That perspective is empowering. It moves us from passiveness to active participation. It shows us that small, daily choices, what we eat, how we move, how we sleep, who we connect with quietly, add up to years of vitality. It's not about fighting time. It's about living in harmony with it. About understanding that the body holds its own wisdom and we can work with it, not against it. That's the beauty of conscious longevity. It doesn't demand perfection, just consistency and purpose. And with that, it allows us to imagine a different kind of aging, clear, vibrant, whole. If biology gives us the chance to live to 120, maybe what we're missing isn't ability but care, and that we do have control over. The habits of the long-lived picture, waking up in a simple home surrounded by nature. Outside, the rustle of wind in the trees, the scent of damp earth, the sun gently spilling through the window. You step into the garden, pick a few greens for breakfast, and chat with a neighbor passing by. Sounds like a dream. That's real life for many people living in what are called blue zones, regions of the world, where people often live past one. Sardinia, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, Ikaria, Greece, Nicoya, Costa Rica, and Loma Linda, California. Different places, different cultures, but with something powerful in common: habits that support long, healthy lives. And the best part? These habits aren't based on magic pills or extreme routines, but on living simply, lightly, and meaningfully. Daily natural movement instead of gyms or intense workouts. Centenarians move naturally throughout their day. They walk a lot, garden, climb hills, carry things. Their bodies don't stay still for long, but they're also not under constant pressure. Movement is just part of life, not an obligation. Plant-based whole food diets, another shared trait. Diets rich in vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and olive oil, with very little red meat. In Okinawa, meals are centered on colorful vegetables, tofu and tea. In Ikaria, olive oil, legumes and herbs shine. It's real food, made slowly at home, enjoyed in good company. Eating in moderation. Harahachi bue. Fascinating habit from Okinawa is hara ashabu, the practice of eating until you're 80% full. It helps prevent overeating, respects the body's signals, and naturally supports longevity. They stop eating before they feel full, a small act with a big impact. Living with purpose, ikigai. Another common thread is having a strong sense of purpose. In Japan, it's called ikigai, your reason for being. It could be caring for grandchildren, practicing a craft, serving the community. That inner compass strengthens both heart and mind. Deep, nurturing relationships. The long-lived are deeply rooted in their communities. They're surrounded by people they share affection, laughter, and support with. Meals are shared, rituals are collective, life is naturally social. Human connection, it turns out, is literal medicine. Consistent, restorative sleep. In all of these regions, sleep is respected, not just in quantity, but quality. They go to bed early, wake with the sun, and keep a consistent rhythm. The body regenerates, the mind rebalances. It shows in the energy and clarity with which they live their days. Gratitude and emotional care. A more subtle but no less powerful habit is practicing gratitude and emotional care. Many have daily rituals, prayers, quiet pauses, acts of kindness, moments of stillness. These nourish mental health and create fertile ground for well-being. And the best part? It's all adaptable. You don't need to live on a Mediterranean island to enjoy these benefits. We can walk a bit more each day, grow a few herbs, cut back on processed foods, eat more mindfully. We can seek or rediscover purpose, keep our relationships alive, sleep better, breathe before reacting. Longevity isn't just about the decades ahead. It begins now in how we choose to live each moment. Walter Longo's research, among the most respected names in longevity science, is Italian-American biologist Walter Longo. With decades of research dedicated to healthy aging, he doesn't just study longevity, he lives it. His work combines cutting-edge science with practices that are simple, accessible, and deeply human. Walter Longo is the director of the Longevity Institute at the University of Southern California and the author of internationally recognized studies. His stated goal? To live with health and clarity up to the age of 120. But as he himself says, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. His approach is evidence-based and mirrors many of the habits seen in the blue zones. He follows a daily routine that shows how science can be applied with ease and consistency. A plant-focused diet. Nutrition is one of the key pillars of his lifestyle. Walter Longo follows a diet rich in vegetables, leafy greens, whole grains, olive oil, nuts, and seeds, with very limited consumption of meat and animal products. His focus is on real food, nutrient-dense and low in excess. He's also known for developing the concept of the longevity diet, which brings together key eating patterns associated with disease prevention, sustained energy, and slower cellular aging. Moderate, intermittent fasting. Another feature of his routine is a daily fasting window of about 12 hours from dinner to breakfast. This break gives the body time to reset, balance hormones, and boost metabolism. It's not extreme fasting, but rather a natural and respectful eating rhythm. Light but consistent movement instead of grueling workouts. Longo promotes gentle, regular physical activity like walking, outdoor tasks, or functional movement. The goal is to stay active without overloading the body. Consistency is more important than intensity. Restful sleep and active social life. He prioritizes restorative sleep, going to bed at consistent hours, and creating an environment that supports rest. He also emphasizes social connections, community belonging, and emotional exchanges, all scientifically linked to better physical and mental health. The beauty of Valter Longo's model is its simplicity. He doesn't advocate for radical formulas, but for a lifestyle that's joyful, sustainable, and grounded in solid scientific research. Being inspired by him reminds us that longevity doesn't require perfection, just presence, intention, and steady care. Practical daily strategies, turning knowledge into daily practice, is what truly makes a difference. It's not enough to know what's good for us. We have to make it a natural part of our lives in a way that feels light and sustainable. The good news: we don't need dramatic changes. Small, intentional actions can have a deep and lasting impact. Wake up with natural light whenever possible. Let daylight wake you. Open the window. Let the sun touch your face. It helps regulate your body clock, lifts your mood, and gently signals your body that it's time to begin. A simple yet powerful moment. Take a morning walk if you can. Walk a little in the morning even, just around the house or on the sidewalk. Gentle movement wakes the body, boosts circulation, and sets the tone for the day. It doesn't have to be long. 10 mindful minutes can make a real difference. A light plant-based breakfast. Choose a plant-based breakfast. Fresh fruits, oats, seeds, or warm tea. Foods that are alive, colorful, and easy on your digestion. Starting light helps keep your energy steady and your mind clear. Simple, nourishing lunches. Choose colorful meals with a variety of vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Avoid distractions. Eat slowly, chew thoroughly. Meals are also moments of pause and reconnection with your body. Hara Hachibu. Stop before your full practice, when possible. The Japanese principle of Hara Hachibu, eating until you're about 80% full. It respects your body's cues and prevents overloading your system. Learning to stop at the right time is a quiet act of self-care. Everyday movement. Take the stairs. Take out the trash mindfully. Water the plants, sweep the floor, stretch your arms. Every movement counts. It's not about working out, but about keeping the body in flow naturally and joyfully. Deep sleep and a restful space. Create a restful environment. Soft lighting, quiet surroundings, a cool room. Go to bed at the same time each night, away from screens. Sleep is an invisible healer. The better the sleep, the more your body renews itself. Emotional connection and micro-joys. Take time to laugh, feel gratitude, look at the sky, or listen to a song that moves you. Nurture genuine connections, even brief ones. Call someone you love. Write down a line of thanks. These small joys feed the soul. These strategies don't require extra time or extreme effort. They just ask for a bit of intention. And when practiced quietly and consistently, they begin to build health, balance, and vitality one day at a time. Realistic tips and gentle reminders when we talk about longevity. It's important to remember this: it's not a race or a checklist. Living well and longer doesn't require perfection. It requires presence and kindness with your own pace. Yes, genetics matter, but they're only part of the picture. Research shows that up to 80% of our longevity can be influenced by our habits, our environment, and the choices we make each day. That gives us both freedom and responsibility. But freedom doesn't pair well with rigidity. Every person has their own story, their own context, and their own possibilities. Not everyone can follow the perfect diet, sleep 8 hours, or live surrounded by nature. And that's okay. The key is finding joy in what's possible. It's more valuable to do something simple consistently than to chase perfection and feel defeated. A 10-minute walk, a deep breath between tasks, a lighter meal, a random smile. It all adds up. Also, remember, longevity isn't just about more years, it's about better years, with independence, clarity, energy, and purpose. A long life without quality isn't the goal. We want to live our years with vitality, not just count them. So listen to your body, notice what truly feels good, adapt these practices to your lifestyle. Respect your limits, but don't give up on what strengthens you. Longevity, at its core, is an act of love toward your own life, a daily commitment full of humanness and imperfection. And when lived with balance, it becomes light as it should be. And finally, living to 120 may seem like a distant goal at first. But deep down, it's not about counting years, it's about honoring the time we do have. With more awareness, ease, and presence. It's a gesture of love toward yourself. A quiet but powerful promise to care for your body like a home, your mind like a garden, your soul like a gentle breeze guiding you. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about choosing one small thing and doing it with intention. Maybe it's waking up with sunlight or eating more mindfully, taking a deep breath before bed, calling someone dear, saying thank you just because. These simple gestures are seeds. And over time, they grow into a fuller, more vibrant life and, possibly, a longer one too. So I invite you to begin today. Right now, if you like, choose one small habit that brings you closer to the person you want to be at 80, at 100, or even at 120. Feel how it shifts your day and how slowly it might transform your story. Living longer is a gift. But living deeply with soul, joy, and cares, an act of courage and love. And this journey so human, so beautiful always begins with a single step.